All right, well, you can see guys on the left there, way ahead of me already. And you can see guys here in costumes because this is a Halloween race. This is Crossfire, where they basically throw ball pit balls at you. Spectators get to have some fun this race. You'll see that in a little bit, but it was a fun race. It was a little bit slippery. The course conditions ended up drying up a little bit, but you got guys falling, you got things going on, and eventually, I think this is about second lap here, and I recognized here in this open bit that, hey man, they're pretty far ahead of me. On the right hand side there, you can see, they get pretty far ahead of me. In the next couple clips, you'll see that too. Right here, there's that gap keeps growing. So today I want to talk about how self-defeating thoughts lose a cross race and basically what you can do to beat them. I had this defeatist attitude, which is basically this self-belief that, your actions are doomed to fail before you even try. And so, when I say, oh man, I'll never catch the front of the race, they're way too far gone, that basically becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Because you never even gave it a chance to succeed. You see the guys way ahead of you and you say, man, I'm never going to catch them. And by that time you even begin to try, you're basically done for. So I want to talk a little bit about what you can do to fix that and how I learned that it might not all be doomed from the start. So here we go. At this point in the race, I think I'm done. I'm not getting to the front. But here comes Steve on my left-hand side here. Steve is a guy I've done some group rides with, raced before. Really strong, stupid strong rider. So I yelled at him like, they're not too far ahead, Steve. Go for it. You can make it. Even though myself, I'm thinking, man, I'll never catch the front of the race. There's no way. And of course, Steve obviously can because Steve is stupid strong, and of course he can. But it's this idea that, if I would have thought to myself, no, I can make it, I can do it, maybe I could be like Steve, and Steve ends up in third place. Right now, we're, I think, ninth overall, and Steve just pulls from, like, I think he was pretty far back. He didn't get a call up, or he didn't get a nice call up, and he just railed this entire race. Here's the ball pit section, and then some graveyard sections. But anyways, there's Steve going past, and so, what I think was impossible for myself may or may not have been, actually doable. But the idea is that if you can recognize that you have a negative thought or a negative inner voice going on, this idea that, oh, I'll never catch the front of the race, if you just at least can recognize that puts you in a huge advantage, right? So if you can recognize that you're thinking negative thoughts, that's number one. If you just are able to be like, wait a second, I'm being negative, you can challenge and shift your focus. So if you can't recognize it, then you're going to fail anyways, right? If you can't just think, oh man, I'm being negative for, no reason, I'm doomed to fail, I'm not even trying, then you're basically not going to get to where you need to be in a cross race. So if you can at least recognize that you're being negative and then say exactly the opposite, right? Challenge that negative thought. Think the exact opposite. Think, man, I can get to the front. Or, hey, look, Steve is getting up there. Steve is going to get third eventually. But, the front of the race, as you see in the upper right there, that's the first place guy. And then the second place guy is right there. And then third and fourth is Steve and some other guy. So I should think to myself, man, I can get to the front like Steve. Or you could set yourself short-term goals. So, go hard up the next hill, catch the next guy ahead of you. Or, just short-term goals. Accelerate hard out of every single corner going forward. Those short-term goals of really nailing this dismount and remount can help you. But again, hopefully that helps you recognize how a defeatist attitude can lose a cross race and what you can do to beat those thoughts.